Round one, Hajime. Starting this off with Seyfert. Ashe could be negating that. That's exactly what we're doing. But because we jumped off the field to activate to search our deck, we can now activate Gamma. Gamma into Chaos Ruler. This is devastating for Sword Soul. If you get Gamma'd and they get a level 8 Synchro from it, you pretty much ought to lose. It's over. It's game over. There's no way to survive this. Now we done? Finally. So we have a Monster Negate plus our Searched for Bestial Banish. We have an Omni Negate plus Link Off with Masquerena and Negate with our Impermanence plus a backup Nibiru and Ash Blossom. Now, Sword Soul's known for being a top tier go second deck, in addition to having a good turn one. Ecclesia's a free special summon, Vashuda could deal with the card in the field, and Taya is also very good going second, could wipe up to 2 cards in the field back into the deck. Let's see what the play is. Blackout, not good for going second. Special summoning that Ecclesia. It's a battle we go. Tried to force out the Masquerena. Masquerena is just going to be eating up that battle phase instead. Special summoning our Mo Yi. Are we negating with the Borland? We're going to negate with the Impermanence instead. Now, had you negated with the Borland, we cannot chain the Heavenly Dragon Circle, which we now can do to dodge the negates. Dodge the Impermanence. Now you can't negate. But we have Ashe negating the Heavenly Dragon Circle, but the Mo Yi is still going to summon a token. A token with no monster to use with it yet. We have not used up our normal summon yet, so let's focus on that. Come forward token, Vashuda. Banishing itself to deal with the Borlord Savage Dragon, forcing out the negate. All we have left is our Borland negates. And what are we negating? We don't want to negate the Taya. Taya's not even activating. Baxia is here. We easily negate the Baxia. Wait, we're only targeting one? Heck, wait, we can't target the Borland anyway, so what are we doing here? We are going to get negated, fully negated. We now cannot pop a card to reborn a monster from the graveyard since we are fully negated. Sending the Ashuna from the deck to the graveyard, which is not activatable since we do not have a token in the field. We're going to banish it anyway with the Druid Swarm. Now ending our turn as we are in main phase 2. Taking out the Druid Swarm with the Rocket Tracer, trigger its effects, send the Baxia to the grave, nothing to use with the Blackout. We scoop in to game 2. Emergence into our Longyan. Longyan is going to be discarding a card, come forth and summon, and we're going to get hit with Gamma again, but this time the Gamma's not turning into a level 8 Synchro, so it is much less devastating. Longyan does get negated and destroyed. We do have Taya. Taya's going to be banishing the Longyan, come forth and summon absolutely nothing. Now we're going to have to sit on a Blackout with the Taya, ready to pop 2 cards on the field, plus the Nibiru to tribute up the entire field. Oh boy. The Fenrir alone is going to be able to deal with the Taya. Now, Fenrir in a Dragon Link deck. Since when did you have room for that? What the heck? It's a 60-card deck, it looks like. Special summoning our Fenrir. Fenrir into the Fenrir. Into battle we go. At least it's eating up a battle phase. Now we have a dead Blackout. Smacking him for 2,400 to the face, and that is the rest of our turn. We can't even use the Chaos Space. Completely dead. Drawing into a dead Heavenly Dragon Circle. Now we have quick launch. And we're just going to have to count up for Nibiru. Nibiru summon number 2. We have Striker Dragon Search for the Boot Sector launch. We're going to be popping ourselves, adding back the Rocket Tracer to then special summon with the field spell. That's going to be summon number 3, summon number 4, summon number 5. At the end of the main phase is when we're going to want to Nibiru. We have not used up our normal summon yet. So adding that Rocket Synchron, ready to be normal summon. We can make the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend thinking we're safe, but the Nibiru's coming. We're turning back the deck, the Gamma. Now we are going to Nibiru before the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend is summoned. The token we are giving, 5,400 attack token. We're going to take control of the Nibiru. What the heck are we doing? Saronir banishing the Striker. We got some damage on the field here. 5,600 life point damage is all we had to deal. We had 55 on the field, plus the Chaos Ruler for game. Had we summoned Nibiru into defense, we maybe would not have lost. Oh my Jesus. Hajime. Max C in the standby phase. Gia's been playing some Vanquish Soul recently. Raisin grabbing our Jiaolong, reveal the Jiaolong, making us indestructible, triggering the Jiaolong to come forth and summon. We are under Max C, and we keep on special summoning. What are we doing? We're going to be adding back the Raisin to now reveal double fire in the hand, to then search our deck for any Vanquish Soul card, monster, spell, or trap. We're going to grab the Snow Devil. Snow Devil has the ability to wipe up the entire field of monsters, plus make us indestructible by card effect. So what do? Fusion Destiny, Jiaolong is going to be revealing double fire, searching our deck for any Vanquish Soul card. We're going to have to deal with there can only be one warrior hero on the field at a time. That's definitely going to be disruptive to heroes. As we come forth and summon DPE. Now, will DPE be able to pop the there can only be one randomly? Because it looks like we're activating it right here, right now. Chaining the Snow Devil. So what's really interesting here is the DPE states that you could destroy both one card you control and one card in the field. So what happens if DPE is not there? Well, you don't get to destroy another card in the field because it has to destroy both. Had we set a back row card, then we would be able to pop the back row card plus something like the there can only be one. So this actually, in a way, negates the DPE. But, you know, we could chain. So maybe we could chain a quick play spell. There you go. Chain Book of Eclipse. So we could destroy that on resolution. That's fine. It works out now. Burn, make indestructible, wipe out the DPE. DPE, pop the Book of Eclipse, and the there could be only one. Very well done. Knowing that the DPE would not be able to pop, adding that Book of Eclipse for that very purpose there. Pantera being added from the deck to the hand. We have Foolish Burial sending the Shadow Mist. When sent to the graveyard, activate to search for a hero. We got Ferris. We got the full pop-off. We have not even used up our normal summon until now. We got Stratos searching for another Ferris. This is it. Ferris, discard Ferris, equip into the back row the increase, banishing for the Malicious to summon one from the deck. We're going to be sending all three to the graveyard for a Plasma to give that Raisin the Good Suck. As the Good Suck is attempted, we're going to be returning the Raisin back to the hand, summoning the Caesar Valius. So that is going to be dodging the suck. It is negated by the Plasma here. We're going to be using Denier. Denier is going to be summoning itself onto the field, putting a Malicious back into the deck so we could use the Malicious in the graveyard again. Tributing for increase to come forth and summon. I see your notification, my friend. Thank you so much, Tom. I appreciate you. Hold up. We have Vian sending from the decks to the graveyard, then banishing to grab a Polymerization. Do we have lethal damage or what? We are going to be making our Cross Crusader, link to it up, reborning our DPE. Now, what's interesting here is we're activating the Caesar Valius to pop a card in the field, but we're negated by the Plasma, but we're not negated if we chain Borger to return the Caesar Valius back to the hand on the activation of wiping a card in the field. Are we doing it? Get ready. Yes, we are. Just like that, Caesar Valius is no longer negated by the Plasma, thus a card in the field is getting popped. We are popping the Plasma. Plasma be gone. Crusader is going to be resolving, reborning the DPE back from the graveyard here. And then we're going to be activating Borger, burning for 1,500 damage because we don't have a Dark in the hand to draw anyway. We are going to be Maliciousing. After that burn, that does trigger the increase, but it's only activatable hard once per turn. Tributing the Malicious, grabbing a Stratos, which we already used up our normal summon. Big enough to take out as the DPE is reducing the opposing field here. And then we're going to be setting up with our Call by the Grave ready to get fingering. DPE is doing what? Huh? DPE activate. Why are we doing the DP to the E? I'm not sure about this one. We are fingering the Rock of the Vanquisher. DPE is popping itself plus the Call by the Grave. Okay, because we really wanted to summon Malicious. I guess? What? What was that? I have no idea what the heck happened. Then we are searching for the Rise Heart, summoning our Raisin in the same column as the Malicious to then wipe it out by revealing a Fire and a Dark. Goodbye to Malicious, goodbye to nothing, because we're going to tribute it before it gets wiped out with the effect of the increase jumping itself onto the field. And then we're activating the increase on summons, summoning a Vian from the deck. Then we are activating to banish the Crusader as the Vian sends a monster from the deck to the grave. Yes, goodbye Cross Crusader. And then we have Stake Your Soul, reveal a Dark, summon a Dark from the deck. That's going to be Mad Love. Mad Love searching for a Vanquish Soul spell or trap. We got Dust Devil, which is non-target Book of Moon. We are going to spin back non-target the increase back to the hand. All right, we have Caesar Valius returning Mad Love back to the hand, come forth and summoning. On the field here, we have 7,200 damage, enough for lethal. And just like that, Vanquished Soul taking a game 1 victory. All right, let's hop on the next duel. And Tom with the $10 says, still sick. Yes, I am still sick. I got the flu, and the flu sucks. It's like a 2-week freaking thing. Damn. Lubellion adding a Serenir. Droplet is going to be activating to summon a Huggin. Huggin could be negated by the Ash Blossom here as it attempts to search for the field spell. Yes, it will. Negate. Field spell is semi-limited, so this, it's a semi-risk to have this negate be a negate that's worth negating, because they could have a field spell already in the hand. We're going to be summoning our Serenir, tributing for Lubellion. Lubellion's now going to be setting up a branded spell or trap into our back rows. The Serenir sends from the deck to the graveyard a regained. Now we have branded beast, which could play the regain from the graveyard back onto the field. As we now make a Verte Anaconda, we have been discussing the Discord. What the heck do we call this deck? Is it a runic deck? Is it a bestial deck? Is it a branded deck? I don't think the deck even plays Alubur. It's just Verte Anaconda Turbo deck. That's what I'm thinking. Anaconda sending Branded Fusion from the deck to the graveyard to come forth and Shokan into our Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade with Runic is here. Okay. Branded Beast setting up that regain during the end phase. We're going to be able to reborn our Bestial if you summon, and we can pop any card in the field with the Beast only during the main phase. Reinforce the Army Grab and the Raisin. Raisin we want to summon in the same column as the Mirror Jade here. Raisin is activating to be searching our deck for a Vanquished Soul. Now, this is a weak point for the Vanquished Soul deck right here, where Raisin cannot chain its ability to wipe out the column until the resolution of its own chain. So this could be the opportunity where you would maybe want to disrupt it, but again, the Raisin asks to destroy the column, so if you activate to destroy the column, then you chain Mirror Jade to banish it, it's no longer in the column. So it has to remain there on resolution in order to destroy. So this will be interesting. Get ready for an interesting ruling is what I'm thinking. Raisin activating, revealing the Jialong, making ourselves... Okay, we're going for the column destruction right here. We're going to be banishing the Raisin. We're not going to Borger return it back because then the Borger would get banished. And now, since it's not in a column, it does not get to destroy. We are triggering the Jialong, summoning itself onto the field, revealing a Double Fire to get searching for our Mad Love. We already used up our normal summon. Borger return the Jialong to then activate Borger to draw a card. What are we drawing into? We are drawing into a Kaiju. Kaiju over the Serenir so that you cannot use the Branded Beast to pop a card on my field. We're going to be using the effect of the Rinbrum. Rinbrum's going to be banishing itself, summoning the Albaz from the graveyard to then fuse with the Borger. This should be interesting. We are going to also be returning a banished Albaz back to the hand as we summon the Albaz from the graveyard to then discard a card on summon. We're also chaining the Branded Regain to return the Rinbrum back in the extra deck to draw one here. And let's get fusing. Using the Borger to make our Lubellion. Lubellion could discard a card to then fuse into a Dragostapelia, is what I'm thinking. Yep, Dragostapelia, returning back the Huggin in the graveyard, back into the extra. We have a monster negate ready. Reborning our Borger from the graveyard to now make a Rock of the Vanquisher, which could summon a monster from the hand. Dragostapelia is going to negate, and that's it. It is forever negated by Dragostapelia as long as Dragostapelia is face up on the field. So its quick effect during the next turn is no good, and I'm thinking that's the end of Vanquished Soul for game number 1, that is. Setting, oh yeah, we're out. We know, we don't even have a battle phase though. We did activate a Runic card, but still, this is too much to overcome. Runic, Branded, do we create a separate deck type for this deck or what? I'm not really sure what we do. Raisin into the Jialong, activate, reveal the Jialong to trigger the Jialong to come forth and summon to then reveal Double Fire. We revealed that we got Kurikara now, so that's kind of interesting. Maybe we should not have done that unless we were planning on summoning the Mad Love here, so I guess that does work out. Setting up our Snow Devil, which could wipe out the entire field, non-targeting of monsters, that is. Albaz. Albaz is going to be discarding to get Fusion Summoning. We are going to destroy the Albaz, thus stopping the Fusion Summon. The Mad Love and the Jialong will not be destroyed, but the Rock of the Vanquisher will be destroyed, so the Rock of the Vanquisher wants to activate. Before this resolves, we're not going to even add Raisin in the graveyard back to the hand? Huh? Okay, we gave up on the Rock. The Rock has been wiped out through our own card effect as the Raisin searches for a Borger. Not searching for a Caesar Valius. All right, we're going for the draws here. Knowing that we're playing against Runics, we want to go for card advantage. Druid Swarm, banishing, triggering the effect of the regained. We are under max C. Return back into the deck our Albaz to then draw a card here. Lubellion's going to be discarded, searching for our Magna Hut. Into battle we go. We've not used a Runic quick play spell, locking us out of the battle phase. Mad Love is going to be reducing the attack and defense of the Druid Swarm permanently, then summoning the Borger to reveal a Dark to then draw one. So instead of popping a card with Caesar Valius, we draw a card with Borger every turn. Sure, why not? Not activating the Borger yet. We're going to be summoning the Raisin in the same column as the Druid Swarm, ready to wipe it out within the same column. Stake your soul, reveal a Dark, summon a Dark from the deck. We got double Borger on the field. Now linking off into Rock of the Vanquisher. Borger is going to be revealing a Dark, drawing one card. We got Call by the Grave to then banish the Druid Swarm and negate it from sending one of our cards to the graveyard. Magna Hut is banishing to summon itself onto the field. We're going to chain our Magna Hut to then stop your Magna Hut, which will trigger the regain to draw a card here. We don't have a Bystial in the graveyard that's activatable with the regain to summon it back in the field. We do get that draw one. Raisin is now wiping out the Druid Swarm. We're going to use Branded Beast to pop the Borger before the Raisin wipes it out. Jialong is revealing Double Fire to search our deck for any Vanquished Soul card. We're going to follow up with Call by the Grave, banishing the Druid Swarm, and we cannot use our already activated Magna Hut to dodge the finger. Very well done. Focus. What are we searching for? Our Caesar Valius. Branded Beast taking out the Borger. We are going to be getting that draw one here with the tip plus the field spell. It is activatable. Searching our deck for any Runic spell. The Ash is going to negate, but then the field spell could follow up, return the tip back in the deck to draw one. Are we going to draw into a good Runic card here? We are not. To battle we go, and just like that, game number 3, starting off with a Runic Smiting Storm within the draw phase to play around a Droll and Lockbird. We have no hand traps. All right, on summon, we're going to be discarding our Albaz, grabbing our Fountain. Now we have to get rid of the Huggin in order to trigger the field spell. Otherwise, we're just going to be sitting on the Flashing Fire, waiting to destroy a Special Summon monster during the next turn. Getting Max Seed, Raisin in the same column as the Huggin, ready to wipe it out. Or we're just going to battle phase, just wipe it out just like that. Huggin returning itself back into the extra deck. We are under Max C, so why even use the Raisin to then summon the Jialong, giving them additional draws here. We're going to get a draw one, though, during the end phase. Is that a proper use of our Max C? Should we have waited? We're going to be using the Raisin within the end phase, revealing a Dark and Fire, that is, to wipe out the Moonin. Moonin is only able to protect you from a targeting effect. Follow up Runic Destruction onto the Snow Devil. Snow Devil could special summon a monster onto the field, also burning for up to 1800 damage. Snow Devil it up, making us indestructible. We just lost a bunch of cards off the top of our deck. Goodbye Small World, Jialong, and a Raisin. We're going to be using the Mad Love on summon, searching our deck for a Vanquished Soul spell or trap. All right. I'm not banned on Twitch. We'll be back on Twitch within a week or two. Saronir banishing to then tribute summon for another Saronir to trigger the Saronir to send a Lubellion from the deck to the graveyard. Magna Hut going to banish the Lubellion before the Lubellion gets summoned from the graveyard. Druid Swarm will then banish our own Lubellion, stopping your Magna Hut from being summoned. Okay, making sure to dodge the column of the Raisin. Verte, Anaconda summoning in the correct column here, as we have the Druid Swarm sending the Mad Love to the graveyard, chaining Borger to return it back to the hand instead to then draw a card with the Borger. We have no Caesar Valius. What is going on? We are randomly drawing into a Borger, Verte sending Branded Fusion to then fuse into our Mirror Jade. Ready for our non-target monster banish, which is once for 2 turns, so we're going to wait. We got a Kurikara, not so good against Vanquished Soul. Reinforce the army. I mean, look at the card advantage here. We have more advantage than a Runic deck. What the heck is going on? Raisin is here. Raisin into the Caesar Valius, which will give us even more advantage. Borger is going to be burning We're done with drawing cards? Since when do we not care about card advantage while 1500 damage looks better? Rock of the Vanquisher, recycling the Raisin in the graveyard back to the hand with 8 cards in our hand. We're going to use Borger, return the Raisin back to the hand after activating it to trigger the effect of the Jiaolong to summon itself onto the field, waiting for the Mirror Jade to activate to get Banishing. How do we get that Mirror Jade to activate? Revealing, fire, and fire, searching for a second copy of our Caesar Valius. Caesar Valius is going to be forcing the activation of that Mirror Jade. I've had enough. Activate on the attack. We are going to be chaining the Magnahot to banish the Rinbrum. Rinbrum is going to chain summon the Albaz in the graveyard back in the field. As we now chain the effect of Caesar Valius, not to pop a card on the field, but to make it unaffected from the Mirror Jade banish. This is very interesting. Okay. Come forth and summon Magnahot with nothing to banish. And Borger is now gone, redirecting our Caesar Valius onto the Albaz instead. Now making a Security Dragon. Now Security Dragon comboed up with the Rock of the Vanquisher because it is co-linked. It can then target the Mirror Jade and spin it back to the extra deck. Holy card advantage. We have Vanquish Soul continue to reborn our Caesar Valius from the graveyard into defense. You could use something like your... We discarded during the end phase. We have too much cards in our hand. We got Freezing Curses, which is going to negate the Rock of the Vanquisher, making it unable to activate within the main phase. As the Caesar Valius then activates to wipe out the field spell, that is way too much card advantage to be dealing with. Terramare with Runic, Branded, Bystial, Verte Anaconda Turbo has surrendered to Vanquish Soul. Thank you to both of you, Terramare. I'm very happy you brought this interesting deck to the tournament today. Let's go. Albion sending Retribution from the deck to the graveyard to draw a card here, drawing into a Nadir Servant. What is going on? Dogmatica Branded. Is there anything we're not going to play Branded with? Banishing with Serenir, normal summoning the Tragedy. Now it's time to Max C. Again, Verte Anaconda is freaking everywhere. We haven't activated the Tragedy yet, so we can recycle a card in the grave if we want, sending the Brain of Fusion from the deck to the grave to then fuse into our non-target monster banish. Of course, we are under Max C. Nadir Servant adding a Fallen Albaz, sending an Albion from the extra deck to the grave to then search for a Branded and High Spirits, activating it within the end phase, revealing the Albaz, sending a Lubellion to then add a Mercurial for a monster negate. That was kind of interesting. Okay. Reinforce the army. We're going to be dealing with a monster banish non-target plus a monster negate. Can we play through that as Vanquish Soul? We have Raisin in the same column as the Mirror Jade to wipe it out. Activating its effect to search, so we can't chain the Column Destruction here. Goodbye to the Raisin. It's non-target, so we wouldn't want to put it back to the hand. But Pantera is a really good card to be playing here as it's a free special summon in the Mercurial negate. So, I mean, that turns off our turn completely. We cannot get a body on the field. We have nothing in the graveyard to reborn. And just like that, we're going to pass with all these cards in our hand and no way to summon them. Through no fault of our own, there was nothing we could do. Branded and High Spirits adding back during the end phase. Mirror Jade's no longer activatable, but it will be by the time we want to be activating it. Magnahot banishing the Mercurial. Mercurial will be activating alongside the Magnahot. We're going to be searching for an Albaz monster here. What's going to be? Kit? Ooh, Shrouded Dragon. Shrouded Dragon will be a draw, plus send a card from the deck to the graveyard. Tragedy is going to be recycling the Branded White in the graveyard back to our hand. I'm kind of surprised we didn't use the Tragedy to recycle the Retribution. Banishing with the Branded White for our Borreload Furious Dragon. Borreload Furious popped the Tragedy plus the back row, but we already used the hard once per turn of Tragedy, so we do not get to search in addition to that. Using the Branded and High Spirits, grabbing another Mercurial monster negate, and with that, we have lethal damage under the Nibiru, which we could negate with the Mercurial. To game 3 we go. Mercurial negate the Pantera. Non-target monster banish with the Mirror Jade onto the Raisin. Pot of P. We digging deep. Deep dig. What are we adding? This does turn off the ability to draw Borger, unfortunately, as we add our Raisin. Raisin is going to be searching for our Mad Love as we now make a Rock of the Vanquisher. We're on summon number 2. Summon number 3. Borger cannot search, but it could burn. Summon number 4. We're actually going to get Nibiru'd here. Uh-oh. This is summon number 5. And if we max C the Nibiru, we can't draw because of Pot of P. but you could still activate Max C. Do not do it. Oh gosh. Mad Love is going to be chain returning the Valius back to the hand. Okay. Valius is going to be revealing the Max C to be unaffected from your own effect, or it's only unaffected from the opponent's effects. Okay, so you're spinning back Valius and also making it unaffected from Nibiru. Sure. That's fine. I cannot believe we got to go first for game 3, so we were supposed to have a Vanquish Soul on the field, and it did not work out. Chaining Max C to the Brained Opening, which is the optional special summon. It could add to the hand instead. Are we adding to the... We're adding to the hand. Albert to the hand we go. We have a Branded Lost, which is going to be able to protect us from any potential hand traps here. We're on summon number 1. Branded Fusion, getting us into summon number 2. I think we're going to be playing into Nibiru. We're also under Max C, so we got to chill. Making sure to put the Fusion Summon on Chainlink 1 to give us that protection of the Branded Lost and the newly summon of our Fusion monster. We got Mercurius to negate the Nibiru now. Shokan into Lubellion. Put Lubellion on Chainlink 1. Discard Kurikara. We are on summon number 4. And we have 8,500 damage, plus a monster negate. That's it, mate. Banish the monster, going at lethal. If you have any potential hand traps here, Mercurius will be negating. And just like that, Branded defeating Vanquish Soul. Now, interesting ruling I was thinking up just now is Mercurius versus a hand trap that no one plays but used to play back in the day, which is Gores. Could this stop a Gores? The Gores activates in the damage step. The Mercurius states that it negates an effect, not the activation. So a Gores actually would not be negated. It would have saved him from lethal damage. Thus, you should be playing Gores again. All right, what the heck is this? UA, Punk UA versus Scareclaw? Don't mind if I do, let's go. Did not get to Max C within the draw phase here, getting hit with that free Fenrir. We're going to be chaining to the right of Erismir, summoning that token onto the field here. But do we continue our special summons? Do we at least get a Griffin on the field, potentially? Searching for a Scareclaw Kashtira, normal summoning our Rykart. We cannot activate its effect on summon due to the right of Erismir. Grabbing our Griffin Rider, which we could just summon during the next turn. Under Max C, you just wait with Griffin Rider, summon it during main phase during the opponent's turn, and they draw one less card. Draco back equipping onto the token, special summoning our Rykart even under the Max C, searching for an incredible card here, the Twin Saw, which will pop 2 cards in the field. Can UA break the field? Emergency teleport within the main phase. We're going to be special summoning our Griffin for that Omni negate. Xiamen is going to be negated from searching our deck for a Punk. No Punk search here. Okay. Now what? We have to deal with Fenrir not banishing, holding on the Fenrir. We have Twin Saw popping the UA Hyper Stadium and the Punk Xiamen. On activation, you could add a UA card from your deck to your hand, and I think not, as it is now negated. Foolish Burial Good sending the penalty box, which could search for a field spell, which we already have, the UA Stadium, but we're going to be searching for another Hyper Stadium, which is not activatable more than once per turn. Could not get a UA out just to whip out our perfect ace, using the Draco back to spin back the Call by the Grave, activating the Call by the Grave to banish from the graveyard a Scareclaw Rykart, as we're now going to have to deal with the Kashtira Scareclaw, banishing it instead. And just like that, lethal damage, taking this into a game 2. Emergency teleport not negating with the Ash, setting up with the Punk Jam Extreme Session. Xiamen is going to be negated by the Impermanence. We still get to draw a card with the Extreme Session, though. Maybe we're drawing something good here, yes? Get drawing. We got the Manager. Contributing for the Perfect Ace, which will be able to negate anything. During the opponent's turn only, card effect is activated. Discard a card to negate the activation. When do we negate? We are also backed up by the penalty box, which will banish a monster at the start of the damage step. Perfect Ace is going to be discarding to negate the field spell search of the Light Heart, which will then trigger the Fenrir to banish. Yes, Fenrir banishing. Goodbye to the Perfect Ace, no longer backed up by the penalty box here. Searching for another Fenrir. We have thrusting a Rite of Erismere into our back row here that we can't activate due to there being no monster in the field. Special summoning our Scareclaw Kashtira, linking this off into another Lightheart. Lightheart, not a hard once per turn, apparently searching for the field spell again. Come to me, Rykart special summon behind the Lightheart, grabbing our Arrival, which could reborn a Scareclaw from the graveyard, which we are reborning our Scareclaw Kashtira. King of Paterson, I'm going to get to you, my friend, in a bit. Thank you very much. Is this lethal damage? Almost. 400 life points blinking red. Now making our Tri-Heart in main phase 2. Tri-Heart's going to force every monster in the field into defense, reborning a monster to search our deck for another monster. We already summoned our Rykarts. We can't do it again. We're going to have to deal with Ash plus Fenrir as the main disruption. Penalty box, searching for a field spell as the Jam Extreme Session is no good here. Are we going to call by the Grave? Negate the Ash. Attempt to negate our field spell search here. We need something to use the UA player manager with. We just need to normal summon a UA. So field spell, search for UA. We got the Hyper Stadium here. This is it. Activate Hyper Stadium, searching for the Spiker. Spiker is here, which will be triggering the player manager to come forth and summon onto the field. Activating to target and destroy the Fenrir, triggering the Fenrir to banish the Spiker off the field face down. Everything forced into defense. Goodbye to that Fenrir. Gonna have to tribute summon with Fenrir from the hand if we want to use it again, but now we're also gonna have to deal with the Rite of Erismere. Summoning a token onto the field, setting up a Fateful Adventure, which will be setting up a Draco back. With triple monster in defense, the field spell is activatable to pop any card in the field. That alone was enough to then initiate a surrender from our Ultra Athlete Earl GB. Unfortunately, that is the end for you, my friend. I wish I could have saw more. Thank you for bringing UA into the tournament. Let's hop into another match. Clock is going to be discarding to make a trap newly set this turn activatable. We're going to be chaining Chandelier, discarding another Chandelier, which will be setting up our Big Welcome Labyrinth, but we do need a Labyrinth monster in the field, which the Clock will be that monster. We're also going to special summon our Lady onto the field here, then flip up our Big Welcome Labyrinth. If we had anything to change the Big Welcome, it would chain link block the Lady Labyrinth from setting a trap from the deck. Set it up. What are we setting up? Setting up a Dimensional Barrier where, thankfully for Vanquished Soul, it does nothing. This Dimensional Barrier is every extra deck monster type except Link. Lovely Labyrinth is being triggered. We are also using the Chandelier to add itself from the graveyard back to the hand. Lovely is going to be randomly taking out the Small World from the hand, which we needed to search for Raisin. That's quite annoying. We do have the Pantera, which could reveal Earth and Fire, which we do have, to destroy a card in the same column, the back row. Ripped off the top of the deck of Raisin, so we didn't need that Small World anyway. Activating to wipe out the Big Welcome. You better activate it. Big Welcome Labyrinth. If we wanted to chain link block the Lady Labyrinth, we would have chained the effect of Caesar, returning back the Pantera, because it's not going to be destroying the Big Welcome anyway as it's activating, or at least it's not going to matter. So we did miss out on that chain link block. That is potentially going to be an issue here, as the Terrors of the Overroot is actually activatable this turn if we discard our Clock. So this may cost us the entire duel by not chaining the Caesar Valius. Now, of course, we could then later activate the barrier, chain to the barrier, but maybe we'd have another chain link block for that also. Come forth, Ariana, return back the Lady Labyrinth. That will trigger the Lovely to pop a card on the field or in the hand. We have Ariana searching our deck for a Labyrinth. Clock is being discarded to make the Terrors of the Overroot activatable to send a card in the field to the graveyard. And Chandelier is recycling back to the hand. Come back. Get poppin', randomly taking out the Jialong from the hand as we add a Stovey. Normal summoning our Raisin. Raisin is going to be negated by the Ash. Now, the Raisin does not have enough monsters in the hand to reveal to take out the Lovely. So we're going to link this off into Rock of the Vanquisher, which is safe from the Dimensional Barrier, but not safe from the Terrors of the Overroot. Huh. We didn't chain the Rock to add back the Raisin before the Terrors of the Overroot resolved. Target a card your opponent controls and in the graveyard. Send that on the field to the graveyard. If you do set the other onto the opponent's field, I guess we would just have Raisin in the hand, and we didn't want that. It would still send to the graveyard, though. Oh, yeah, I can't chain because lovely secret awesome effect hidden under that dress is you cannot chain 2 normal traps with monster effects. Caesar Valius returning back the Pantera, big enough to wipe out that lovely. As we now set up a Soul Snow Devil. We have Chandelier discarding to set up a trap in the back row. We got the big welcome ready. Come forth and summon. So that whole spiel about chaining the big welcome with the Caesar, we couldn't even do because of the lovely. We have the clock being triggered, summoning itself onto the field, ready to be returned back to the hand with the effect of the big welcome. We can now chain, though, because there's no lovely on the field, so there's no excuse on why we can't just chain Caesar to the big welcome, stopping the chain of the lady. There we go. So Adelon does know. It's just that the lovely stopped him from previously doing it. Very nice. Lovely is summoning from the graveyard, return a monster we control back to the hand, which will be the clock. Clock back to our hand, trigger the lovely, pop a card on the field or in the hand as the Ariana is activating to also either draw a card or search for a labyrinth. Chandelier recycling, come back to me. We are going for a draw instead, special summoning the Stovey onto the field here. Stovey plus Lady can make a Chaos Angel. Lovely recycling the big welcome from the graveyard. We are now going to synchro this off into the Chaos Angel on summon, banish a card on the field. Now the Caesar is unaffected from this banish, but do we remember that it became unaffected to chain link block the lady? Apparently we did remember. We did not forget. Chandelier discarding that Maxi, setting up a welcome Labyrinth here. To battle we go, wiping out that Caesar. Looks like Labyrinth may be the better deck. We'll see. There's going to be another duel after this at least, though. Flipping up the welcome within the battle phase to finish him off for lethal damage. Adelon, I believe in you. I don't root for the players, I root for the deck. I am rooting for Vanquish Soul here. Let's go. Gamma we're going to have to deal with. Dimension Shifter, do we negate that with Gamma? We're going to chain Stovey because otherwise we cannot activate the Stovey while we're under the effect of Dimension Shifter. Talus World, I'm going to get to that message in a bit, my friend. Thank you very much. We have Small World, banishing Pantera to search for our Raisin. And it's going to be negated by the Gamma here. Gamma, negate and destroy the Raisin, mate. This is absolutely devastating. We have there can only be one Fiend on the field, which could be a bit disruptive towards Labyrinth, as they're going to be stuck with a lady on the field, but 3,000 attack beating you down every turn. It's not going to be looking good. We did block off our Fenrir from being summonable. Chaining the there could be only one here. You can only have one Fiend on the field, and just like that, the big welcome gets banished due to the Dimension Shifter. But we do have another big welcome in the graveyard, which whenever we want, we could spin back the there could be only one back to the hand. Can't summon the Caesar Valius. End phase spin back ourself. Not the there could be only one. That's interesting, making room for Fenrir. Fenrir is Psychic, so we could have a Fiend alongside the Psychic. Also on the attack, just banish the there could be only one. Instead of spinning it back to the hand, just deal with it completely, sure. Discarding the other Fenrir, setting up another big welcome Labyrinth, and come forth and summon our lady as we're going to be desperately trying to just draw one card off of this summon here. This is not looking good for Vanquish Soul. I don't really know what we could do. Now, the Ash is a very good top deck, able to deal with that big welcome Labyrinth. Small World. We are banishing the Borgers, grabbing our Raisin. Okay. Big welcome, chain Ash negate. Very well done. Imperm negate the Raisin, though. Raisin go into a Rock of the Vanquisher. If the Fenrir does not banish it after it gets negated by the Impermanence, which it's going to. Also chaining Lady to the Impermanence, setting up a trap to be used for the next turn. Oh, it's just over. Oh my gosh. Damn. 2-0 Labyrinth, wiping the floor with Vanquish Soul. Let's get another duel ready. You have Torn Scales discarding the Danger to send a Cloak from the deck to the graveyard. Danger is activating to summon itself from the graveyard, now making the Binny. your special summon monsters cannot activate unless they are linked. So if you special summon Fenrir, you can't banish, you can't search because of the Colossus, you're not linked up with the Rusty because it's not pointing forward. That's a problem. And as you can see here, we have set up our field perfectly where our Borreload is linked with the Rusty, our Gossip Shadow is linked with the Nightmare Griffin, and the Thunder Dragon Colossus does not activate. It's a continuous effect that's not negated, even though it's not linked. So what do? We are going to cast here Birth to still special summon our Fenrir, attacking with the Fenrir, wondering why it cannot activate as the Nightmare Griffin stops it from activating. Bogblade not only negates it, but stops it from continuing with that attack, knowing that there is another Monster Negate, Omni Negate, and we can't add cards from the deck, mate. Special summoning our Fenrir. Fenrir, come to me, Scareclaw Kashtira. We're going to Theosis onto the Fenrir, summoning our Unicorn from the deck, adding a Birth. We are now going to be acceding to the Shangri. Special summoning our Rise Heart. We're going to bang our Shangri with the Big Bang, which is going to add back our Fenrir or Unicorn, then summon it back in the field, summoning the Unicorn that is, banishing Theosis with the effect of the Scareclaw Kashtira to then add the Big Bang back to the hand. As you're now making a Rise Heart, forcing every card sent to the graveyard to be banished instead. Tribute summoning for Vanity Fiend, just like that. Every card sent to the graveyard is banished. We could banish any card in the field face down. Vanity Fiend states that both players cannot special summon, and if you happen to have more than one monster in the field, we could Big Bang it off the field until you only have one. This is something. This is something. We can't Kaiju, because we can't special summon. So what do? We do nothing. We're going to Rise Heart during the end phase. Oh, just like that. Vanity Fiend, a Rise Heart, turn one. Pretty much a first turn kill against most decks. That's something. The Kaiju was not the out. Can you believe it? For the first time, Kaiju does not work. Let's go. Special summoning our Junk, making a Benny with the Cloak. Benny's going to send a Graph. Any special summon monster cannot activate unless it's linked, and we have no way to be linked unless we link ourselves. That's a problem. Ooh, Vashuda. Vashuda can special summon and then link off into Monka Tenyi. No. And, okay, we're just ending our turn. We even have Monk? What the Vashuda is in your deck? Like, what? For level 7 plays, rank 7 Xyz? What is going on? We are activating our Rusty. Goodbye to Vashuda getting Kaiju'd. Rusty is not special summoned, so it is a legal activation, discarding to send a Cloak from the deck. Or, no, we already had Cloak in the graveyard, so we're using the Cloak, and we are now making our Breaksword. Breaksword is going to be popping itself plus a back row card, triggering the effect of the Breaksword, summoning itself, not itself, but 2 monsters in the graveyard and making them level 4 to make our rank 4 Xyz into the Raider Knight, linked up with the Griffin, so it is activatable, to rank up Xyz into the Arc Rebellion Xyz, to then absorb the entire field's attack, to then attack over the Kaiju for game. Branded Fusion, we have the Max C for that Branded Fusion. Call by the Grave to finger that Max C, negate the ability to draw per special summon. I do not think so. Definitely needs to get hit, absolutely. Firewall Defensor being another crazy 1-card combo play. You stop the Circular, they follow up with Defensor, maybe they start with Defensor. Albion is here. With Albion, we're going to be activating Diffuse using the graveyard, banishing the Albaz and a card from the hand to make our Lubellion. By keeping the Albion on the field and sending a Lubellion from the deck to the grave, we then get to hold on to our Mirror Jade activation, as you're seeing right here. Lubellion tributing the Albion, which will then use the Albion to search for a Disruptor during the end phase, and also setting up a Branded Lost. We have the Branded Banishment, which will be triggering the Lost to grab a Mercurial for a Monster Negate. So we essentially have a Monster Negate a special summon. We could make something like a Dragostapelia potentially off of the Branded Banishment. We have a non-target monster banish. We have a ton of disruption, but it is Math Mech. Let's go. Can Mathmech play through this? Circular sending Sigma from the deck to the graveyard, special summoning to then summon the Sigma from the graveyard to then trigger the Circular to search for maybe a Mathmech equation to reborn from the grave. But we're going to stop all that with the Mirror Jade banishing the Circular. So no follow-up search with the Circular, but we now have Triple Tactics Thrust into a Harpy Feather Duster, which will wipe out the backer. We're going to use the Banishment, attempting to summon the Albion, then fuse with both sides of the field, but the Club of the Grave is going to stop that. Negate. So we did not get to set up what Branded lost. Branded Lost was desperately needed for a monster negate. Now we have absolutely nothing. We have our normal summon. Is this lethal damage? Get ready. Opting out of the Diameter, making a Linguriboh to trigger the Defensor. Defensor summoning a Guardian, linking this off into a Splash Mage. Splash Mage reborn a monster from the graveyard. Guardian reborn itself from the graveyard, making a rank 4 Xyz Alan Burt. Alan Burt's going to be searching our deck for an addition to boost up a monster to the field by plus 1,000. Alan Burt tributing itself to summon a Diameter onto the field. Splash Mage reborning the Sigma from the graveyard, linking this off into an Update Jammer. Update Jammer with the Splash Mage making the Transcode Talker. Now by activating and summoning a Circular, only one monster can attack this turn, reborning the Update Jammer, linking this off into an Access Code Talker, which we said that they put away. I'm still playing Access Code Talker. Targeting the Transcode Talker, becoming 5,300 attack, we're going to be able to wipe out the entire field and double attack for 10,000 damage. There is no Alubert in the graveyard, which is needed after taking out the Mirror Jade to activate to then summon and negate the Access Code Talker, thus lethal damage. Very interesting. Now, what do you do if there's an Alubert in the graveyard? Should I be giving a tip to a Mathmech player here? Probably not, but with Alubert in the graveyard and you take out the Mirror Jade, the Alubert needs to target the Access Code Talker to negate it, reducing its attack back down to 2,300. What you do instead is you keep the Transcode Talker on the field, and then with the Update Jammer and the Splash Mage, you make a 4,300 attack Access Code Talker instead, but now it is untargetable. So then you wipe out the Alubert, which can't even be summoned because both the Transcode and the Access Code Talker are not even targetable, and you would still have game. And we did have that with the addition to make that play if we needed to. Lubellion grabbing Saronir. Saronir banishing our Lubellion, which is far from ideal. Not a misplay, but what are you going to do? Making Verte Anaconda. Now, you can't Ash Blossom the Anaconda because our effect is we're copying an effect. We're not actually the effect. It's the effect of copying an effect. Thus, you can't Ash the effect of copying an effect because Yu-Gi-Oh! Said so. We are going to be fusing into the Mirror Jade. We could Herald of the Abyss to the grave. Essentially, yeah, you're not negating the cost of sending the Branded Fusion, but a lot of people, I think for good reason, would think that you should be able to negate the new effect you're copying, which you're copying the effect to send from the deck to the grave through an effect, but you can't do that because you're copying the effect. You're not actually the effect. You would be ashing the effect of copying an effect. Thus, it's not an effect that sends the deck to the graveyard. Thus, you're not able to Ash. We're going to Ash the Maxi, though. You are negated, and then we're going to be Herald of the Abyssing, sending the Mirror Jade to the graveyard, banishing our Mirror Jade just to make sure we get a Rinbrum in the graveyard here. Rinbrum will be able to summon the Albaz to then fuse with the fields. So we do have Disruption. We also have our Super Polymerization. So what do we save our play for? What are we doing? Circular sending Sigma from the deck to the graveyard. We're going to be using the Rinbrum right here, right now. Reborning the Albaz, discarding the Ash Blossom to fuse with the Circular into an Albion. And we have Albaz on the graveyard so that we could banish the Albaz plus the Albion to make a Mirror Jade if we want to. But we had Anaconda instead, keeping the Albaz on the field. Sigma reborning, addition but boosting. We are going to be using Mirror Jade early. What do you all think about that? Going to be normal summoning our Microcoder to make our Splash Mage. Splash Mage is going to be reborning the Microcoder from the graveyard, then making a Link Decoder. Link Decoder is going to, with Splash Mage, make the Transcode Talker, triggering itself to summon itself back in the field to then use the Transcode Talker to reborn the Splash Mage. This is a Terahertz. It's even a Singularity Dragon if you want it to be. We're not making Singularity, we're making Terahertz. Terahertz is here. Negate any monster effect during the battle phase from the opponent, sending a Firewall Defensor from the deck to the graveyard to protect itself from being destroyed by the Mirror Jade during the end phase, which is negated during the battle phase from even being able to wipe out to begin with. Ooh, adding a Lost during the end phase and then discard Diffuse with the Terahertz to make a Dragostapelia. That is something. Defensor is only protecting us from destruction, not from then fusing with our Terahertz. Tragedy recycling the send from the deck to grave branded fusion that we used with the Verte Anaconda. Damn. Is Verte the main reason why we're never going to see a card like Dragoon? Dragoon is never going to be unbanned. All because of Verte Anaconda. Is it worth it? Do you want Verte or do you want Dragoon? You can't have both. Small Worldin. Small World grabbing our Ash Blossom. This is why you probably want to chain Maxi to a Small World potentially. Now, this is the power of Firewall Defensor. You're wondering, what's good? Why use Firewall Defensor? This is going to outline exactly why. This is immensely powerful. So we have Spell and Trap card negate, plus we could send a card from the field in hand to the graveyard, plus be a negate, all from the Super Factorial. But we got Druid Swarm, which could stop the Super Factorial from being able to send and set up a negate. That's a problem. Bystial does counter Math Mech, so maybe if you're struggling against Math Mech, put the Bystials back into your deck. We do have the Aggregator to also negate a card on the field with the Terahertz, which is all we're really going to have to be playing with. This is not good for Math Mech. All right, opening. Terahertz is going to be sending Aggregator, which is assuming that you're summoning the Alibur. So if you just add Alibur instead, the Aggregator will have nothing to negate. Do not summon the Alibur. Why did you summon the Alibur? Now you're negated by Aggregator. Okay. Well, that worked out for Terahertz. Negate. And when do we Super Factorial? When do we find out that we're going to get messed up? We got Kurikara. So now we can't even chain our Druid Swarm to the Super Factorial. Thus, it will be able to send from our hand, our field, and set up a negate. We lost the out to the card we know he has. Are we, when are we doing it though? It's a 2000 attack monster, so we want to wait. We're waiting. Allure gets negated by the Ash. We're gonna end phase Super Factorial, but if we wait, the Kurikara could activate. We could chain to the Kurikara though. That's fine. Kurikara, chain Super Factorial. Oh, Lingaribo. You're trying to negate my Super Factorial with my Lingaribo? I don't think so. Again, can't chain the Druid Swarm because we Kurikara their monster. They're going to be able to then send the Druid Swarm, send another monster in the field, and yep, we also have our negate, but there's nothing to really negate here. We could chain the Druid Swarm before it gets sent. That's fine, but we could negate it trying to summon itself before it gets sent. So it will get sent. And only if it's sent from the field to the graveyard will it send the Laplacian to the grave. Goodbye Kurikara, goodbye Druid Swarm. But what do we have here? We have nothing. We have the top deck. We do have Sigma, which could special summon. Then we could go into a Splash Mage. We're running out of room. We instead make a Crystal Heart. Crystal Heart could reborn the Transcode Talker. Then we can make plays off of that. Let's go. Parallel Exceed. Okay. Crystal Heart. Chain Parallel Exceed. Parallel Exceed is here. Okay. If this card is special summon, we're going to be making the Alan Burt, making room for the Crystal Hearts. Alan Burt is going to be searching for Diameter, which we have our active normal summon here. Holy moly. Was that a top deck or what? Transcode Talker, special summoning Heats. Oh my Jesus. And we still have our normal summon. What the heck was that? We're using the effect of the Heat Soul because our life points is low to summon an update jammer from the extra deck, going into an Access Code Talker. Access Code Talker is going to be boosted up to 5,300, wipe out the entire field. Damn. From nothing to something. That worked out very well. We're going to start banishing. We're going to start popping. Banish, pop, banish, pop, banish, pop. open field, 10,000 damage, and Mathmech is victorious. Now, Crystal Heart with Terahertz, a lot of people don't know this, but Crystal Heart could boost up Terahertz to 6100 attack only if Terahertz turns itself into the Earth attribute by sending a card like, let's say, Dotscaper, or you could send a monster from the extra deck that is an Earth to turn it into an Earth, and it also will have piercing battle damage. So 6100 double attack, piercing battle damage. It's a really fun way to lethal your opponent if they got a bunch of monsters in defense and you don't want to go through the way of Access Code Talker. Good job, FUGB. Pot of P, digging deep, Super Poly, Trap Trick, Subterror. Okay. Set 4 pass, the best play. Soul of the Supreme King is ready in this duel. Cross out Designate preemptively on Ash. That's interesting. Okay. Jackalope randomly discarding the tour guide. Come forth and summon. We have Celtic Guardian now in the hand here as we now make a Benny. The summon of Benny can be negated by the Solemn Judgment, thus no cost to send a level 3 from the deck to the grave. Still have our normal summon into the Celtic Guardian, not the Torn Scale apparently. What the heck? Flipping up Soul, the Supreme King, to pay half your life points to summon a Supreme King Z Arc. Now, it's patiently waiting in the graveyard for the opponent to activate a spell to then summon a ton of monsters from the extra deck. Get ready for that. The heck is Soul and Luna? We're going to be 4,000 attack, taking out that Celtic Guardian Giga Chad. Back in the extra deck we go. The Supreme King, I believe, is still activatable in the graveyard, right? Your opponent activates a spell card, banishes card from the grave, and a Supreme King from face up in your monster zone. No, it's not activatable. You have Torn Scale, adding a Fog Blade with the effect of the boots, poking for 600 here. Set up the Fog Blade, monster negate, Book of Eclipse off the top of the deck. That is going to be absolutely nothing. When do we Daruma? When do we Solemn Judgment? Torn Scale, discarding Droll, sending a cloak from the deck to the graveyard. To battle we go, poking for 600 damage. Where are the plays? Make the plays. Setting a 5th face down, double Daruma in the back row, ready to flip the whole field face down. Huh? Daruma flipping down, the Torn Scale stopping the 600 lethal direct attack. Okay. We have a useless Maxi, not big enough to attack over that 1600 defense. Now we have Tour Guide, but we're not going to commit with the Tour Guide. Attempting to go in lethal again with 600 attack. Main phase 2 Tour Guide, nothing. We're just staying safe from a potential Torrential Tribute here. Setting a Soul and Luna, which I still have no idea what it really does. We're going to now be maxing preemptively within the draw phase. It is turn 12. We're going in with 600 direct attack. We are going to Ash negate the Book of Eclipse because it draws during the end phase as it attempts to flip down the Torn Scale, stopping this lethal damage play. Lethal damage. Solemn Judgment, which is supposed to stop everything, does not stop monster effects. Thus, it could not stop the Ash Blossom from stopping our Book of Eclipse being stopped from flipping face down, stopping the lethal damage. Good Evil Lion. Pressure Planet into our Unicorn. We're going to be maxi preemptively. We do have Droll to, after their first draw, we could stop them for further drawing, but we also cannot add from our deck to our hand. We have Surzeal searching for Evil Eye Unleashed. It's going to be sending as a cost to then add a Selene from the deck to the hand. Selene's going to make us unstoppable. Gorgon is going to be discarding our Basal Trice, grabbing our Evil Eye Retribution, which is a spell and trap card negate. Selene's going to make it to the Surzeal, cannot be destroyed by battle, cannot be targeted, cannot be destroyed by card effect. What do? Also has the ability to target a special summon monster and destroy it. You max seed me, I Droll and Lockbird you. Basal Trice is special summoning from the graveyard, potentially going into a Link Summon play here. Come forth and summon. It is not a trigger effect, it's a quick effect. Whenever we want, we can Link Summon, including our Selene being part of that Link Summon, but we're going back to us now, so no longer under Max C. We are additionally summoning our Unicorn, just a regular normal summon here. Back-to-back Droll and Lockbird. You Droll and Lockbird, I Droll and Lockbird, you Max-seed me, I'm not Max-seeing you though. Theosis onto the Unicorn, special summoning a Fenrir into defense. To battle we go as we banished a card from your extra deck already. Goodbye to the Tri-Hearts. End it up. So what do we do here? We have the quick effect to destroy a special summon. We have negate a spell or trap. We are untargetable, indestructible. The Basal Trice could turn this into a bigger Surzeal, which will be a monster negate, or actually it's a destroy any card in the field. Thank you, X Fluffy. I'm going to get to that message in a bit. And Talus World, thank you, thank you, thank you. Arrival, special summoning alongside our Griffin, using the Surzeal to destroy the Rykart. When do we use the Basal Trice to go into another link? Triggering the effect of the Fenrir, banishing the Rykart, also looking at the extra deck, banishing a card face down. The Griffin is quite useless without the token. Banishing a second copy of the Tryhard. Is that the final copy of Tryhard? We have no more Tryhard. Tryhard's gone. Rival arrive to the field. Basal Trice is activating to perform a Link 3 with the equip card into Surzeal, Ruler of the Evil Eye, but it's useless unless it has a Selene, which the Unleashed is triggering on its summon to equip a Selene onto it, making it absolutely unstoppable, untargetable, indestructible, and giving it the ability to destroy any card in the field. Goodbye to the Rykart. Selene boosting up a permanent 3100 attack now. Ash is going to be negating the field spell from searching for a card. Just like that. I'd say that you lost to Evil Eye and not Kashtira. Triggering the Birth to banish 3 from your graveyard face down, right? The Evil Eye put in all the work here. Surzeal is going to be forced to be, it has to target a card and destroy it, right? No, what does it do? During the next turn, has to negate your Fenrir because it's pointing to it. It's got to negate something it's pointing to. And just like that, Surzeal finishing up the duel with lethal damage. Let's take this into another duel. I'm very happy to see some Evil Eye. Rite of Erismir, we do have our Infinite Impermanence. When do we want to be negating? Do we negate the Lightheart before they get the Griffin out? That would potentially be negating it. We do not. We're holding on to the Imperm. Discard the Draco back, equip it onto the token. We could special summon the Griffin. Now we're going to be able to negate the Impermanence, or at least go even with the Impermanence next turn. Rykart for the Twin Saw, which could pop 2 cards on the field. Special summoning to then make a Tryhard. Tryhard's going to be special summoning our level 3, then search our deck for a Rykart. And with the Twin Saw, we can make it so Link monsters could not activate in addition to popping 2 cards in the field, thus massively countering us. How do we break this? Imperm go even with the Griffin, as we said. We got to deal with that Twin Saw. Forcing the Unicorn into defense, searching for the Theosis, which will special summon a Fenrir. Into defense, Surzeal goes. It will be activating to search our deck for nothing as the Ash is going to negate, making our Triple Tactics talent activatable. Kaori, I see that. I'm going to read that in a bit. Thank you. Triggering the Unicorn. And goodbye to the second and final copy of the Tryhard. Chain popping with the Twin Saw, taking out the Surzeal and the field spell, stopping it from searching for an Evil Eye monster. And whenever we want, we can banish that the Twin Saw to make it so Link monsters cannot activate. Using the effect of the field spell to add back the monster in the grave, special summoning our Fenrir. We're gonna use the Twin Saw early. Okay, Link monsters cannot be activated. Sure. Triple Tactics talent, take control of a monster your opponent controls. I'm going to take control of that Tryhard, still forcing our monsters into defense, though. Now we have the Rykarts, as we now make a Shangri. We're going to bang the Shangri with the Big Bang. No, we're not. We did not want to do that, sure. But it still allows us to make an easy 1-card Arise Heart, thus forcing any card sent to the graveyard to be banished instead. Even though we took control of the Tryhard, our newly summoned monster are still forced into defense. Shangri, special summoning Fenrir from the deck here, not activating the Griffin to negate, using the Draco back to spin back the Shangri back in the extra deck, using the Griffin to negate the Arise Heart, activating to equip another material, and then the Griffin can be researched for with the effect of our Fateful Adventure. We also have the field spell activatable to take out the Fenrir. Fenrir banishing the Fateful Adventure before we were able to search for the Griffin back to our hand. Rival arrive back in the field, the Acro. We're now going to be linking this off into an Access Code Talker, targeting the Tryhard, becoming 5300 attack. Special summoning our Scareclaw Kashtira into a lethal damage attack, taking this into a game 3. I'm taking notes. This is a deck I want to play. Unicorn, come to me. Droll and Lockbird, locking us out of activating our Evil Eye Unleash. We're not going to even special summon our Unicorn. We're just going to be depending on the Nibiru. Be counting up the summons. We also have Moonlit Chill on a special summon we can negate. We have Water Enchantress, banishing to grab the Rite of Erismir. Now the Griffin's going to be able to negate the Nibiru, but Moonlit Chill will negate the negate on summon number 1. Summon number 2. Cannot activate the effect of the Rykart on normal summon due to the effect of the Rite of Erismir, as we now grab our Griffin Rider here. Draco back equipping onto the token. Summon number 3. 2 more summons and Nibiru will be activatable. Only on the special summon do we get to use the Moonlit Shield. We got to use it right then and there. Summon number 4. We're not going into the Nibiru. Is this lethal damage? Yes, it is. Oh my gosh. 4 summons. We negated the Griffin, and we just did not get to whip out that Nibiru. Oh my Jesus. Mystic Mine at home. Oh boy, we're still not done. Boots will be searching and setting up a Fog Blade for the monster negates. Any special summon monster that's not linked up will not be able to activate. Colossus prevents you from adding. The Boar Load will negate. The Fog Blade will negate a monster. The Masquerena will link off. Let's go. Hidden City. Set the Guru, flip up the Guru. Guru's gonna flip down the Colossus because we cannot search. Fog Blade will be negating. Oh. There you go. Thank you very much, Kaori. You know, Subterra did not deserve that, but you did it anyway. Damn.